Are cybersecurity jobs in 2026 completely cooked? Is there no chance for us anymore? Is the world coming to an end for cybersecurity professionals? You might be surprised how many times I get asked this question. It's often. And I think it's just because a lot of people who are trying to get into the industry now are realizing that there's already quite a lot of people in the industry. And maybe the wages that you got like 5 years ago are not quite the same as they are now. For example, a SOC analyst now, probably in Australia anyway, around the $60,000 to $80,000 a year mark, give or take, depending on how much prior IT experience you have. Whereas before, a SOC analyst was getting around 150 sometimes. Still, I know actually quite a few guys. I know lots of guys who a few years ago, say 3 to 5 years ago, were working as SOC analysts and they weren't earning anywhere near 150. They weren't even earning $100,000. So a lot of these like wages that came out were not true. But to the main point, aside from wages, is that to answer the question, is cybersecurity completely cooked off in 2026? The answer is no. It's still here. It's still a great industry. There is still a lot of jobs in this industry. Like it's a high churn industry, and that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. What has happened though is cybersecurity has fallen in finally, and I said this years ago, I knew this was going to bloody happen. Cybersecurity has fallen the same way as sysadmins and network engineers. We've now got these three titles that are completely different jobs. You have your cybersecurity professional, be it red team, blue team, whatever. We'll just say cybersecurity. You have your networking people who do networking, big networking things for ISPs and stuff like that. And then you have your sysadmins who are doing sort of everything in between, almost a jack of all trades. I have had the pleasure of working across all three of those jobs now, all three of them, from basic to management, across all three, of owning companies, of running companies, of being an employee, working in government, private industry, the whole thing. All three of those main three categories, I've done them all. And I'm telling you right now, and I had said it years ago, cybersecurity was going to be put into its own category as part of IT, and it would just become IT, which has happened. You have your specialists though. For example, in sysadmin, you have your cloud specialists, or you have your big data specialists, your virtual machine specialists, whatever it is. Back in the day, way back, like 10 plus years ago, a sysadmin and a network engineer was basically the same thing. Often, a sysadmin would be doing networking. Now you have network engineers, and networking went the same way. Networking like split out for a while and was like its own little special thing in IT, and it still kind of is. You still have your sysadmins, your network, and then your cybersecurity. And below that margin, you have your help desk. Not to for 1 second discount what help desks do, because in a help desk, you kind of do it all. You do the cybersecurity, you do the sysadmin, you do the networking, you do telephony engineers, you do everything. You're just an everything person, and that's kind of cool. That's why I said years ago, being in help desk would be great if lots of people did it, because they would get so much experience across so many different things. Later, you can then pick and choose without being siloed into one part of the industry that might become redundant or get eaten up by another part. And this isn't a discussion about if AI is going to take over cybersecurity. If anything, AI has made cybersecurity even more prevalent. Cybersecurity and AI have, it's like a battle at the moment. It's a weird, I'll explain in another video. So back to what I was saying before though, about a lot of people who are in this industry, who are in cybersecurity or want to get into cybersecurity at the moment, are seeing people who are now in that industry and thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind doing a bit of that. But then they're coming to realize, and this is where I think a lot of cybersecurity's problems are coming from, with people saying, oh, I can't get in because everyone tells me it's not entry level. It was never meant to be entry level. It became entry level for a little bit while they needed more and more people to get into cybersecurity roles. They were taking anyone in. Now, you have to have that prior experience. You can study cybersecurity at university if you want. You can study your computer science. You can study network engineering. You can study whatever you like. But ultimately, none of these jobs are ones you get straight out of uni. And IT is one of those interesting places where a lot of the time you don't even need a degree to get a job, whatever that job is. If that's, your network engineering or your cybersecurity analyst or your whiz-bang, Wizard of the Realm, sysadmin megaboss 3000. Could be any of those things. You could be any of those things. And maybe you should be any of those things. But this is really the main point, is that has cybersecurity completely cooked its goose in 2026? No, it hasn't. Not at all. It's still a very strong industry. There are still plenty of jobs. You still earn pretty good money. You still get to work from home a lot of the time, or you work in a fast-paced, dynamic environment in the office with your water cooler. It's just like any other IT job. If I was going to say I was scared about any IT jobs that currently exist, it would be development. Developer jobs are, at least the entry-level ones, which used to be mostly in startups, have now kind of become vibe-coded roles, and that sucks. Cybersecurity is still hanging on, guys. If you're interested in cybersecurity, if you feel like protecting and securing an environment is for you, you want to protect the world against the attacks of other nations, get into cybersecurity. It's sick. It's absolutely knuckin' futz, and I think you guys should really give it some thought and consideration if that's something that interests you. If you prefer more the flashing lights of a server room and, not the server per se, but actually the network behind the server, the thing that everything runs on, networks. Get into networks. Networking is sick. I love a bit of networking. It's actually, I think after all these years, I feel like networking is my favorite thing in IT. Yeah. Networking's sick. Or if you want to build stuff, if you're like a home lab machine, you love building things, maybe a sysadmin role could be for you. I know some guys who are wicked at building stuff in virtual machines. Like, they just know how to build really complex environments. And I'm like, that's crazy stuff, dude. Now someone's going to have to protect that. Someone's going to have to build the network infrastructure behind it. Someone is going to have to architect this whole damn thing. And that's awesome. That's IT. That is IT. I've just explained the whole industry in a sentence. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do smash like. If you're interested in learning about cybersecurity, AI, networking, sysadmin, compliance, all of the stuff that exists in IT, become a member. There's actually a whole bunch, like hundreds of members-only videos on actually doing those jobs. If you would like some one-on-one coaching with me, head over to tsip.app, book at a time with me. I'll have a chat with you soon, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. Thanks for watching, and happy hacking, defending, building, networking, whatever it is that you do out there. I wish you all the best with it.